everybody, and welcome to Clearvision's webinar around monday.com. My name is Paul Renshaw. I'm Chief Revenue Officer here at Clearvision. We've got Roi on the line with us as well, who's going to be helping us today. So hello, welcome. So I'm just going to start with our first slides before we move into today's demo. Clearvision, we've been around for more than 20 years actually, so our legacy goes all the way back to IBM Rational. Some of you will be smiling at the thought of ClearCase and ClearQuest, and we've worked very closely with software development teams over the years. What that meant in our history was that our Atlassian partnership just became a very logical step for us to take all the way back when they were a small Australian upstart. So we began moving our customers away from the Rational platform towards a Jira-based platform. And this transition was very successful for Clearvision as we grew and became one of Atlassian's top 3 global partners, something I'm really proud of. And over the last 5 years particularly, we've really concentrated on solutions based upon the Atlassian platform and complementary technology. You'll see on the screen there, we have very much a cloud-first motto for all our solutions. This means we can provide, as long as we can provide your solution either as a vendor SaaS, in your own private cloud, or on our own fully managed AWS platform we call ClearHouse, they're the type of solutions we want to offer you. So as you can see on the screen here, solution-wise, we're talking about PPM, SDLC, DevOps, ITSM, and compliance. But particularly over the last 18 months, I knew within our client base, there were teams that just weren't adopting our offerings for various reasons. Some couldn't use the technology very well. Some felt they didn't need something as in-depth from a technological perspective. Some technology teams just didn't engage with the other side of the business, these business teams, these marketing teams. So they hadn't even thought to offer the solutions they were using to their colleagues, lots of reasons really. And then I saw monday.com and it really did caught my eye. First of all, it just looks fantastic. It really does. And more people I speak to, that is definitely something which catches people's eye. And particularly for the non-techies amongst us, and I definitely include myself in that. And the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. And the term that really began to catch my eye was this concept of a work OS. And that really struck a chord with me because this wasn't about replacing technologies in our customers' business that we offer them. It was complementing what we already offer them. So Roi, why don't you tell the people watching the webinar a little bit more about yourself and about monday.com before we then move on to the actual webinar demonstration ourselves. Thank you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Roi Bar On, and I lead all of monday.com's channel partnerships in the UK Nordics. Really happy to be presenting for you guys today. So what we'll cover today is how Monday can replace your spreadsheets. Monday could be a really great replacement to your traditional spreadsheets, and Paul and I will show you how you can do that and how that would look in Monday. With that said, Paul, maybe we could kick it off, and I could do a quick introduction to monday.com as well. So monday.com started its journey in 2012, and the product was officially launched in 2014. The company has more than 500 employees today, and we're scaling really fast. As you can see below, we have aggressive hiring goals over time, and this year we plan to grow to 700 employees. We're a unicorn and then some, as you can see. We're actually the highest valued private Israeli company with its headquarters in Israel today. And we're currently based in Tel Aviv and New York, and we just launched our new office in Sydney with a goal to open new offices in San Francisco, Miami, and London this year. We have over 100,000 paying customers of all shapes and sizes across 182 countries, specifically in the UK, which today is our second strongest market right after North America. We have over 9,700 customers, and that number is growing fast. Now, this is a nice slide that I wanted to show you guys. This analysis was actually prepared by Goldman Sachs. You're probably familiar with many of the companies that are shown here, and you can see that monday.com, right next to the arrow, is one of the fastest growing SaaS companies in the world. We're also considered to be one of the fastest growing startup companies today, and according to some sources, one of the fastest growing tech companies in general. So why monday.com? Monday.com is a SaaS-based work operating system, or Work OS, which provides teams and organizations with all the building blocks and tools that they need to confidently plan, run, and track all of their projects, core processes, and workflows. Now, monday.com was designed with the flexibility to fit thousands of use cases across various industries. The platform provides the flexibility to build and adapt quickly to any workflow, project, or process. It means that instead of predefined workflows, you are free to create your own workflows using the monday.com building blocks. And indeed, we see our customers making the most out of Monday in just so many different ways, including, for example, marketing teams managing their marketing campaigns and events. It could be product teams managing their product roadmaps and new product releases. It could be IT teams running an IT help desk. It could be HR teams better tracking employee hiring and onboarding. It could be sales team managing their sales pipelines. It could be customer success or support teams managing support tickets in their daily shifts, and the list goes on and on and on. Moreover, since everyone struggles to keep pace with constantly changing requirements and customer needs, while having to deliver and execute at all times, it's really crucial for teams to adapt quickly to any change. With Monday, it becomes much easier as monday.com is very scalable. You can easily add more teams and more workflows at any time, and it adjusts seamlessly to your shifting needs. As mentioned, with monday.com, you have built-in flexibility to run any project, process, or workflow. Any team can create their own custom application to suit their exact needs. Just choose from dozens of building blocks that you see in front of you to shape any workflow in a matter of minutes. It's easy to break them apart and reassemble them according to your changing needs. It's also important to mention that monday.com is code-free. There's no technical skills required. There's no need for IT. There's no need to recruit someone to manage it. It's really intuitive, and onboarding is really simple.
Thanks, Roy. That was brilliant. So you can see why we're interested in partnering with monday.com based upon all that flexibility that this platform offers, as Roy described there. So what we really wanted to do now was dig into some very specific use cases that we just keep seeing in the market. I've been seeing this for years. I've been in this ecosystem for nearly 10 years now. And that is the use of spreadsheets, be it Google Sheets or Excel spreadsheets, in day-to-day processes and day-to-day teams. So what we've done is we've created a spreadsheet which replicates something which all of you, I'm sure, will be familiar. So you just look on the screen here, you're running a project. In this example, we're talking about a marketing team. You've got lots of different tasks that need to be completed. You've got lots of people who are responsible for those tasks. And you, as that project leader or as that product manager, that type of role, need to understand on a daily basis or a weekly basis, where that particular project is. As you'll see on there, you've got various bits of information. You've got who the person is, you've got statuses, you've got the person who requested that, what product is it related to, what department are they in, what are they actually doing, when's it due, what about the hours. And as you can see, this data goes on. The amount of spreadsheets I've seen that are like this, and it's often because people don't actually know there's other ways to do it. That's certainly from my experience. So what we wanted to do is take this particular example, feed it into the monday.com platform, and show you very easily how you can adopt a way of working that's simple, easy, and adds so many more benefits. We know some of the challenges around spreadsheets. They're not real time. They get saved all over the place, God forbid, on the D drive, the C drive traditionally. Whether that's on your desktop, they get left in emails. You don't know what version it is. We've all had that horrible scenario where an Excel document gets sent around and you're on version 7.5, final version 3. We all recognize that pain. Communication, collaboration between teams and across departments is lacking terribly when you use that type of approach. Therefore, many teams and companies resort to endless email chains and long sync meetings. It can often happen. I've heard this phrase a number of times actually, the most expensive meeting in the world, where you have some of your prized people in a room together effectively arguing over data on a spreadsheet. We've been there. This is one of the ways that we see to help with those sorts of challenges. We all know spreadsheets lead to lack of visibility, especially in complex projects where there's actual workflows and multiple stakeholders and contributors involved. It's also impossible to achieve visibility, and you need to keep track of statuses, progression, key information. The list goes on. It's also difficult to create quick views and snapshots of that data. You've all had that email from your boss. Where are we now? I need the information in 10 minutes. And you're scrambling around trying to pull information normally from other people, and that's where it really slows down. And lastly, there's lots of manual work. Just given lots of those examples there. So what Roy is going to do very kindly for us now is he's going to move in to the actual demonstration of this exact data that you're seeing on the screen in Monday, and start to talk about the features and how this could be a real easy step for you in your role today that you could make. So what we will do is I'm going to hand over to Roy now. He's going to replicate this spreadsheet in monday.com and show you how easy it is for you to move across your work today. So I'll hand over to you now, Roy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. That was a brilliant presentation. I think of the many challenges that we're hearing from our over 100,000 customers today when they're using their spreadsheets. And I'll show you how Monday can be the perfect replacement for your spreadsheets and how it can make your life so much easier. So this is monday.com. Welcome. This is our platform. And as your first layer, we have what we call the Monday Workspaces. These help organizations manage multiple departments and projects all in one unified place. It also allows managers to keep their teams laser focused only on the workspaces and project relevant to them. Now, to create a new workspace, simply click on this three-dotted menu just to create new workspace. And this opens up two options for you. You can either choose an open workspace, which everyone can access, or a closed workspace, which is available with our enterprise plan and allows managers to add another level of permission to control who can access the workspace and what each team member can or cannot do in the workspace. In this case, as you probably already guessed, I actually went ahead and created a marketing workspace for us, which is right here. And this can easily be customized. You can, customize the color and the icon here, depending on your taste. You can change the name of the workspace, add a description. You can go ahead and add a member. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add Roi and Ophir. And I can also add a team. Let's add the design team. You can also, from here, actually go ahead and change the type of workspace to a closed workspace or vice versa. Now, under these workspaces, you have what we call Monday boards. Monday boards are one of the core components in monday.com, and that's where our users build their workflows. In order to add a board, simply go to this plus icon, and there's two options for you here. You can either choose from one of our pre-made templates across a wide variety of use cases and verticals. If you're relatively new to Monday or you just need some inspiration. And you can also create your own boards and actually share them as templates that all your teams can use. Now, there are three types of boards. If I just open a new board here, there are main boards, which are visible to anyone. There are shareable boards, which are used for sharing a board with people outside of your company, such as maybe clients, contractors, interns, and more. And then you have your private boards. Private boards can only be seen by the person who created the board and specific users that he or she invited to this board. Now, these are very good for projects that you might not be ready to share with the world yet, or boards that include confidential information. Another thing I actually wanted to show you guys here, and this is related to our spreadsheet conversation, you can actually import a spreadsheet into monday.com. From here, it could be an Excel sheet, it could be a Google sheet, and easily transform it into a monday.com board. In this case, I already went ahead and created the board for us so we don't waste time on this. And it's called the Marketing Request and Time Tracking Board based on the spreadsheet that Paul showed you earlier. Now, before I get started, I actually want to see who is subscribed to this board. If I simply go in here, I see that myself and Roy are the only ones that are subscribed to this board. I can also see that I am an owner on this board, which means that I can bypass a lot of the restrictions and permissions in this board, but I can go ahead and add teams or add myself or add anyone else. I can add Ophir in this case. And I can also see that this is a shareable board because it opens up the guest section. Now, what are we seeing here? And I actually shared the description so you can have it in front of you. This marketing and request time tracking board will provide the marketing team and requesters with a quick overview of what's going on with various marketing requests that are submitted, where they are in the queue, how they're prioritized, and when they are due. It can provide visibility and full transparency to all the stakeholders involved, and it connects everybody to the bigger picture. It will also ensure that everybody has all the latest and most up-to-date information on each request, which you more often than not don't have in your spreadsheet. Now, as you can see, we have three types of groups here. We have new requests. We have the queue, which will show us what's being worked on. We have the completed group to show us what's been done. Now, of course, these groups, they can be anything you'd like. They could be projects, they could be project phases, they could be weeks, months, quarters. And each one of these groups is comprised of items, in this case, the marketing requests, and columns, which help us to capture and visualize all the data needed for our workflow. Now let's quickly review these columns, just to understand what you're seeing here. First, we have the requester column, just to show who submitted the request, and we'll dig deeper into the requests later on. We have the priority column. I used a ratings column here, and in this case, the priority will be added manually by either a team member or the manager. It's very customizable. If you just click this arrow, it'll open a drop-down menu, go to column settings. You can change it to hearts. You can change the scale number to 4. You can change the color, really depending on your taste. That's the beauty of monday.com. It's really customizable and can be tailored to your own needs and your own taste. We also have an owner and team column. These are person columns. This is what's going to boost accountability. And everybody knows now who's responsible for each request and under which team it falls under. In this case, I'll go ahead and, I can go ahead and actually erase myself, re-add myself in this case, or anyone else. I'll do it manually, but I'll show you how it can also be automated later on in the process. And I also added 2 status columns here, one for the type of task, so we know who needs to be assigned to the task. This is also very customizable. If I just click the drop-down menu, if I just click the labels here, I can go ahead and edit the labels. I can move them around. I can open a new label. I can change the colors, whatever I want. And a regular status column, which shows me exactly where we are in terms of completing the request. And you can see that the labels are aligned with my workflow. I also added a due date column to make sure that we're meeting our deadlines. And I also activated through here what we call our deadline mode. What this does is now it links this column to the status column, and it gives me better visibility into where we are against our deadlines. Now you can see that this due date is actually today, and it's only been received. That's not good. I probably want to look into this and check what's going on here. This is due in 4 days. This is due in 5 days, etc., etc. This also helps you to make more informed decisions as a manager based on this data. I added also an estimated time. So an estimated time for each task. Now, this is done through and this is a really cool one actually, it's done through our formula column, which is a very powerful column that we have in monday.com. And I have predetermined estimates based on the type of task that you're seeing here. So each one of these task types has a predetermined time estimate. And long story short, what this does, as soon as I choose the type of task, it automatically populates this column. I can also change it to video, and you'll see different times. This can save you a lot of manual work, but it could also be changed afterwards as needed. This is just to give you guys an example of the power of the formula column. We also have the time tracking column to know exactly how much time it took each task to complete. And I can go ahead and press play and just press stop as soon as I complete the task. I can also press stop and press play again to take into account breaks, maybe off time, things of that sort. Another column I added here is the actual time. The reason I added this column here is to do better reporting afterwards. This is another formula column that only does one thing. It converts this column, which is in seconds, to hours, and you will see later how it helps me to do better reporting here. I also added an overtime column. This is another formula column. Basically shows me how I am against my estimated time, minus, there's still time left, plus I'm over time. Another column I added here is our product column. Now, this is based on what we call a tags column. And what this essentially does is it groups items from multiple boards under specific keywords. It's very similar to hashtags that a lot of you are familiar with from social media. And once I click this, look how cool this is. This actually opens up our search everything section. It runs a search automatically there. And now you will see only the items that have this product associated with them across all the boards in the account. So even if we open more boards later on, a manager or a team member can now get a quick glance of all the product X related items across the account. Last but not least here, I added a link column. In this case, I added a link to another board in monday.com. If I simply press this, you can see that it automatically takes me to another board. So if I was the person running this task, I might be running my own work on a separate board, and I want to quickly get to it. You can see this is a social media schedule run by the person managing this task. And it shows all the specific tasks that I have with due dates. It's just kind of that cross-board functionality that you have with monday.com makes your life a lot easier. Now, if you want to add your own columns, just press the plus icon here. You have your default options, and you have a whole world of opportunities in our column center.
Thanks, Roy. That was fantastic. I think that strikes me is that the simplicity of the Excel spreadsheet within Monday, everyone can see how that works, but also those people who are a bit of a whiz on Excel and use the formula side of things, you can instantly see how that skill is usable in Monday as well. So you get both sides of the coin there with all the value like you described. I do have a question. Is there a way to see only what a specific person is doing on the board? So, I'm a manager and I just want to have a look at one of my team members.
Yeah, you absolutely can, Paul. It's a great question. So there's various ways to do that. One way, so let's take, for example, this person, Ophir. The first way, the quickest way, is to simply run a search here by Ophir. You can quickly see all the items, in this case, the marketing requests that are associated with Ophir. But there's not much more you can do on the data with the data from there. Another more sophisticated way to filter in monday.com is using this person icon, choosing Ophir, and now it not only shows me all the items that are associated with him, I can also go ahead and save that as a view. But if you really want more granular filter options, you can also use this tornado icon. Opening this, you can do a lot more advanced filtering here. Just as an example, say I want to see Ophir, and I only want to see the marketing requests under the status received. I can do that. It went ahead and filtered it. I can save it as a new view. And to go back to our board, I'm going to go ahead and clear it. Let me actually put this on full screen for us so everybody can see.
Oh, that is really easy. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Right, second question. So as a manager, I need a quick view of estimated time versus actual. That is often a conversation that comes up. How would I actually do that on Monday?
Yeah, it's another great question, Paul. You can absolutely do that. So another way to create quick views of your Monday boards is through what we call our view section. Now you have your default options here, or you can go to more views and it opens up a lot of other options for you through our view center. In this case, as you probably already guessed, I created a view for us in advance. It's called estimated versus actual. And this ties back to what I said about converting the seconds into hours, and now you'll see the power of it. Let me turn this to light, and now you can see actually a view that's based on our very powerful chart view. And what you can see here on the x-axis is all of our marketing requests, and on the y-axis, you can see estimated time versus the actual time it took to complete one of these requests. Now, these charts are very customizable. I can choose whatever chart type I want. It could be bar, it could be stacked, line, pie. I personally very much like to work with a bar chart. And also you can choose which columns the data is pulled from. In this case, we simply chose the estimated time and the actual time. You can add a benchmark line, change the color. You can change it to dark mode. You can even split the view so you're seeing your chart against your board. Look how cool that is. Really depending on your taste and what you need. Another cool thing you can do here, you can export the data of this chart for whatever needs you have. And that's the way to do this, Paul. Very simple way.
Fantastic. That is really cool. And again, the great thing about this is all included in the monday.com subscription, nothing extra. You get all this functionality as you're describing it. Again, exceptionally real, exceptionally usable. So yeah, one thing I'm also curious about is to see how you can deal with the marketing requests coming in from various stakeholders on Monday. Is there a better way to submit these requests to marketing teams on this board?
Absolutely, Paul. And this is actually the part that I've been waiting for, because I think this is a really exciting capability in monday.com. At monday.com, we're really obsessed about saving you time. And thanks to what we call the Monday forms, which can actually be accessed easily through the view section right over here, you can now turn meaningful data into actionable items without having to lift a finger. In this case, just like I've done all through this webinar, I created a form for us already. It's called a request form. Let me put this on full view so everybody can see. Now, as you can see, this form matches the exact structure of our board. You can update the names, displayed in each column. You can add a description. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how is this going to affect my board? It doesn't affect your board. These are changes that are specific to your form, and they're not going to impact how your board looks. From there, you can also check only the options that are relevant for you. So through here, I can go through all my board, and I can press the eye icon to hide whatever I don't need in the form. Now, look how customizable this form is. I can add a logo here. I can go ahead and change the background color. I can do whatever I want here depending on my taste and my needs. Another cool thing that I can do is actually customize my success message. So once the form has been successfully submitted, it can have whatever wording I want. And another thing to mention here, once I do share form, there are two options to share the form. One is through a shareable link, which can be accessed by anyone, or an embedded code to display this form on your website. So let me just put this in preview and I'll show you an example actually. Let me show you the power of forms. In this case, let's say I wanted to submit a Twitter campaign request. Let's say the requester is called Amit B. Type would be social media. Let's say I want this to be for July. And let's say additional information that I want to add as the requester is, this is related to product, excuse me. Let's say product Z. Please contact me first. Submit. You can see the success message. It's been submitted successfully. Now, if I go back to my board, look at how cool this is. First of all, a new item populated in my board. I didn't have to lift a finger. It was all through the board. You can see that all the information that was submitted is on here already. Social media, you see the due date. You can see the requester. If I open the update section, which I'll go back to later on, you have the information here for the person to see. And another thing, which is really cool, if I just do a refresh here for a second. It already assigned me automatically to this specific request. And this was all done by a simple automation I created through our automation center. Automations in Monday allow you to automate much of your manual work related to your workflow project. So if I go to my automation center for a second, which is through this robot icon, first of all, the first thing you see is that you have a lot of options to choose from. We call these recipes, which are based on a trigger and an action. You can choose from a whole world of automations, requires no coding at all. But if I go to my board automations, you can see that I set an automation here that whenever the request type changes to social media, it automatically assigns me. Not only that, I set another automation that when an item is created, to notify me. It could be the manager in this case, for example. If I just go back to my board for a second, you saw this automation, but you also see that I got a notification here in what we call the notification bell. This basically provides all the notifications only on updates that are relevant to me. It goes to all the users that are using the account. In this case, it's myself, and you can see the notification there. And once I got the request, I can go ahead and make any changes I want. I don't have to do much. It could be myself or my manager setting the priority here, choosing the team maybe. I can put it on received. I can press play. I can move it around, drag and drop, no problem at all. And one more cool automation I wanted to show you guys that I also set to this board is once a status changes to done, it automatically drops the item to the completed section. I don't have to do much for it. So once I'm done with this task, see it jumped to the group, took some time. If I move it back to working on it, it might take a few seconds here, but you'll see it going back up to the queue. Does that answer your question, Paul?
It really does, and thank you for showing that in real time as well. I think that's really important. When I had my first monday.com demo, this bit that you've just run through was the bit that got my imagination going wild about how can I make my teams more efficient, how can I be more efficient, and how can I take advantage of those particular aspects of the platform. So thank you very much. I'm sure the people viewing this will be thinking, how can I work in my team? So I do have another question. So as you know, communication is crucial to a team and an organization's success. Is there a way to improve the communication aspect in Monday?
Yes, you absolutely can, Paul. And another great thing in monday.com is really the ability to communicate in context. If you simply press the bubble icon over here, it opens up what we call the update section. This is where you communicate with your team members and across departments. In this case, I'd like to say just as an example, I'd like to ask Roi, at mentioning him, what's going on with this request. Now, I can add a GIF to make it fun if I'd like. I can add a file, maybe for my computer, Google Drive, Box, and more. I can also add a checklist if I'd like. Say I have some, if I have some excuse me, let me just erase that, go to the bottom here. And if I simply start opening a checklist here, I might have some subtasks that are related to this specific request. I can also do that with sub-items and open up subtasks to each item. I'm not going to go into that in this specific webinar, but that's also a more advanced capability that you have in monday.com. Now, once I press the update button, Roy will get a notification both in the notification bell discussed before and in his email. Now, I can see who viewed this, and here I can simply start a communication. @mention somebody else and start a communication. Whatever I need to do. And this is what really helps us to communicate, internally inside the team or across departments, assuming everybody has access to this board, of course. So really say goodbye to all these endless meetings, the email threads, or communication out of context in your very specific communication or collaboration tools that you might be using. Instead, you can have all your communication in monday.com to keep everyone on the same page and really boost the efficiency all across the board.
Fantastic. I mean, that is just such a real use case of the tool, being able to just ask specific questions about a specific thing and get that answer in context. It allows us all to just keep our head in the tasks and the roles that we have, rather than jumping in and out of email and context switching, which is a pain in today's very connected world. So thank you very much. Right, another question for you. So Roy, can I set different account and board-based permissions and decide what people can access or change on my board?
Yes, you absolutely can, Paul. So with Monday, we have 3 levels of permission. We have the board level, the column level, and the account level. Let me start quickly with the board level. If you simply go to this 3-dotted menu here, this opens up a lot of other board options for you. If you go to board permissions, it opens up this window. And what you automatically see, first of all, is that board owners, remember I'm a board owner and I added Ophir, I believe, as a co-owner at the beginning. If not, then I'm the only board owner at the moment. This allows me to bypass a lot of the permission restrictions that we might have on this board. And there are 4 levels here. We'll start from the lightest. We'll go to the. We'll start from the lightest one, and we'll go to the heaviest in terms of what people can do in the board. So view only, outside of writing updates. This option will prevent any non-board owner from changing anything on the board. You also have edit by assignee. If enabled, users can only update the columns or items that they're assigned to. You also have edit content, which currently we're on. If enabled, aside from changing the structure of the board, things like changing the columns and the groups, users can pretty much do anything. So anything from adding items, maybe moving items between groups, editing column values, etc., etc. And then you have really the biggest permission here, if you will, which is edit everything. This allows subscribers to collaborate on all aspects of the board, including changing its structure. Now, if we go to the column level restrictions, this is where if you open it through the arrow here, you have the drop-down menu. You can restrict the column edit or restrict the column view. If I just click on one of these, you can see that only people that will be added to this list can now view this column. Last but not least, we have our account permissions. This is only available with our enterprise plan. If you go to the avatar here, admin section, permissions, you can see that an admin in the account can restrict things like maybe uploading files, adding boards, enabling integrations and automations, etc., etc.
Now that is really powerful, because that's when we start to be able to not only communicate and collaborate cross-departmentally, but also with our partners externally to the business, be it customers, partners, etc. And that's, again, one of the real powerful things that drew me to the solution. Right, another question for you. So this is great, but it's only one board. So, you know, life's not as simple as that. I wish it was. So how can teams and executives keep up with the many of these boards and get a quick glance about what's going on at any given time?
Yep. For that purpose, Paul, we have what we call the Monday dashboards. Monday dashboards can be accessed from here. You can open a new dashboard easily. It could be main or private. In this case, I already created a dashboard for us to make things easier. Now, what are dashboards, first of all? Dashboards are really a great way to display what's important in just one place. This is where management and perhaps maybe team members can understand at a glance what's going on across all boards in the account. If I click Edit here, Add Widget, I can see all my default options. If I go to More, I can see that I can choose many widgets and really tailor it to my use case. But let's go through the widgets that are already created for us here and the views. Now, first of all, I created this one, which is by using our workload widget. This widget can show us in a quick glance who's busy and who's available to quickly rebalance their work and do proper resource allocation. It's highly customizable. If I go into settings, you can see that I'm currently pulling the information from just one board, but of course it could be pulled from multiple boards. I could change it to days, weeks, months. Let's just stay on weeks for the purpose of this demonstration. And I can also change the capacity. In this case, I put it on 4. What does this actually mean? It means that I'm counting now how many requests each person can handle in 1 week. And I set the max capacity to 4. The more tasks a person is handling, the fuller the circle will get. And if they're over capacity, it'll turn red. Let's just press done for now. And if I go ahead and hover over this circle here, you can now see which task Sophia has been assigned to. And look at how cool this is. I can actually go ahead and open this task or this request from here. It opens up this card, and I can make changes directly from here. I don't have to go back to the board. So if I see that Sophia is too busy, I can go ahead and reassign it to somebody else on the team. Other widgets that I created for us here is the time tracking widget. In this case, to track every person's overall time spent on items that he or she is working on. I added the same estimated time versus actual time chart that you saw earlier on the board, only in this case, it can pull information from multiple boards. And last but not least, I also added, based on our battery widget, the marketing task status. This basically, the battery widget allows us to aggregate the status columns of our choice across multiple boards. And it allows the managers to get a quick glance of the overall progress of their team and their projects. So these are our dashboards. Paul.
That is brilliant. I love the battery widget, I have to say. Okay, right, last question for today. So could you integrate Monday with your internal tools and applications?
Yes, you can. So this can be done through our integration center, which is right over here. Let me just show everybody again how I accessed it. Right through here. And you can see that you have many built-in integration options here. Just some examples can be maybe Twilio, Slack, MS Teams. If I just go ahead and just click on one, you can see that you already have built-in recipes here. In this case, it's a one-way integration, basically pushing data from Monday to Twilio, but there's a lot of integrations with a two-way data push, either from Monday to that software or vice versa. Now, just going back to my integration center, if you don't see an option that's relevant for you here, we also have an open API, which can help to integrate Monday with other tools or apps which are not part of this list. You can also use the API to import data into monday.com and export data to external software services. Another cool thing to mention here, and these are really exciting news at monday.com, we recently launched our Monday Apps framework, which will extend developers' capabilities to create custom applications and integrations on top of the Monday platform. So these are your capabilities in Monday, Paul, to integrate other tools or applications with monday.com.
Thank you so much, Roy. That was absolutely brilliant. And as everyone could see on that list, I mean, all of some of the most popular solutions in the world are already available as integration points for Monday. And again, just all included within the subscription, which really helps. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. What we want to leave you with is something tangible to take away. Not only have you learned lots of lessons today, but we want to be able to offer you the ability to either sign up for your own demo account, have a play, try and import some information and just see if it can work for you. Maybe start using it just to manage your own personal tasks. Or if you'd like Clearvision and the Monday team to help you really understand how this solution could work for you, you can simply come to our website. Very easy, just go to our website. It's clearvision-cm.com/Monday, and all the links are on there. So you've got a couple of options, like I say, either submit some requests to the Clearvision team, and we'll step you through that process personally, listen to what your requirements are, and help create a monday.com board that meets your requirements. Or if you want to get your hands dirty straight away, sign up via the Clearvision link. That'll get you your own exclusive ability to work with the tool yourself, and then the team will be able to help you moving forward. So that rounds up today's webinar. Thank you very much to Roy and all the team at monday.com, a real fantastic solution which we're really excited to bring to everybody who's watching today. And we look forward to bringing you many more of these, giving you other examples of how we can translate the current way you're working into the monday.com tool to produce efficiencies and just give you more time to do your work. So thank you very much. It's goodbye.
Bye, everyone.